And say good morning to you as well. And I hope that you did enjoy that edition of Johnny's Bite from the studios of 3FM 92.7. As you know, we're celebrating Breast Cancer Month, and we encourage you. We started last week, and the whole of October, the education will continue. And this morning, we'll be asking how involved are men, in issues of breast cancer, very much involved in checking, examination, etc. of their partners and what needs to be done by way of follow-ups for medical checkups, etc. And so that's why it's very critical. And we have a health screening right here at the forecourt of Media General. And Media General, if you don't know where it is, we're close to the Jubilee House or the Flagstaff House, depending on how you want to call it. So if you search on Google Map, it says Presidential Drive, TV3 Network Presidential Drive. So Media General, you find us there. You find everybody else. And a great friend of mine with Mubos, aka Mubo, is celebrating his birthday. That is Usman Mubarak of UDS. Wishing you all the best with the administration as well as public relations. Wishing you all the best for the day as well. The Tamale Technical University, great guy. And with the Tamale Technical University, when you go there, just make sure you go ask for Usman Mubarak. And Frank Fia, also you work with the Minister for Roads. Wishing you all the best for the day. Today we're here to talk about some important issues. And Mubarak was reminding me that I should say good morning to Irene as well. And so Irene of Pink Ribbon Enterprise Tamale. I came there the other time. It was so great lady. But we've been telling you about why we need to take a look at a broad discussion on how our expenditures are undertaken. Because constantly you would find that at each accounting year when we have the auditing done by the Auditor General's Department, and it's signed off by the Auditor General, billions, if not millions, are lost, not accounted for. Some they enter pockets, some is unaccounted, some is embezzled. And if you follow the proceedings of the Public Accounts Committee and you find the questions being asked, then you get to realize that, well, the accusations really shouldn't be going to the lead politicians, but to those within the civil service structure and all that. Because, Charlie, they just chop it small, and they can be there for 20 years. NDC will go, MPP will come. But why do we have this? What needs to change? It is very important for us to have this conversation, and it's why we're here as well. Your regular host on Fridays is not here. Joseph Akable is going to be called to the bar this morning, and so it's very important that we say preemptively congratulations to you, Joseph Akable, going to be called to the bar this morning, all things being equal, by the grace of God. As we those who watch and then worship with NSPPD and Alpha Hour say, by the grace of God, Joseph Akable will be called to the bar this morning. Congratulations to you in advance. Joseph Akable, great guy. But let me just quickly introduce to you, I have Professor Enoch Opoku-Antwi, governance expert and policy analyst. You know, the good thing I love about him is that he's seen some of the best management of countries, having lived in the United States, taught in universities, consulted, etc. He's here. Good morning to you,
Good
Professor
morning.
Opoku-Antwi.
Good morning to our listeners everywhere in the world. I know people love TV3 continue doing a great job. And my greetings to my people at New Job Enough.
Fantastic. Your constituency is New Job Enough.
New Job Enough.
Okay.
As Korea, Fijasi, or your Pujuma position.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Great. Who's the MP there? Mike?
The Joe.
Joe.
The Joe.
Okay, the Joe. Okay. And then I have also, I first knew him as an MPP member.
Papa Roo.
So one of the disappointed MPP members now with the movement for change. Ebo Bachman has been my great friend over the years, over close to 20 years, if not and over. Yeah. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning. Maybe I'm fine. Let me say good morning to the people of Cape Coast. Fantastic. Even though our airport and harbor didn't come, we are still Cape Coast. And so, Romahine of Ogwa traditional area, Osabrema, Kwisata the second. This is my special greetings to you. The MC, the fantastic MC, George Arthur, is doing fantastic job there. And Ogwa, you know, last weekend we were in Cape Coast to commiserate with Ogwa, Mr. Frank Hatchful. He owns the Hatchland Beach and Hatchland City.
Oh, okay.
In Cape Coast.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
We were there to commiserate with him. In fact, what you have
to go chill for their power.
Yeah, I know. Of course, you've met there once.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. It's good to come back. Last week I wasn't here, so it's good to come back.
Okay.
To meet my brethren.
Your brethren.
Yeah.
All right. Also, I have lawyer Kwame Jantwa, the son of Jantwa. How are you?
I'm well.
I hope you're well.
I'm very well.
Great.
Good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
But you started your intro with cancer.
So we're marking.
Yes. No, nobody's wearing a ribbon to support our women.
No, I'm wearing.
No.
The ribbon.
Yes. That is what shows. If you like it, you protect it.
No, do you mean to say
if you like it, you protect it?
If you like it, you protect it.
If you like what? Can it be?
If you like it, you protect it.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, then I'm sorry for you.
And so, for our discussion this morning, we said men should be interested, especially in the examination, the follow-up. It's very critical. So that
very critical. None of you are wearing a ribbon to support our women.
Yeah,
it's not good.
It's not fair.
Yes,
it's not fair.
You want to make yourself look good.
At least the station should provide ribbons so that we know that the station is promoting it too. Simple.
Okay.
Cancer is a very deadly disease.
It is.
Yes,
breast cancer.
It is.
Deadly disease.
It is.
You shouldn't joke with it.
You need to protect what you love.
And our women need to be protected.
Yeah. One person who got me clearly interested in this was Dr. Beatrice Riafiadai of the Peace and Love Hospital, as well as the foundation as well.
If you've been hearing those who have recovered on radio within this duration, man, it's not easy.
Lawyer Amaliba is here. Abraham Amaliba is the Managing Director, Executive Secretary, the National Road Safety Authority. Did I get your position right? Because since
you got it all wrong.
Since you got the position, we haven't met, so. Or is it Director General?
Director General, like the Governor General in those days, under colonial rule.
Fantastic. Let me
forgot to add my CPP to.
Let me reintroduce you, and then we have here the Director General of the National Road Safety Authority. Lawyer.
Director General is a notch higher than Chief Executive and those other.
Lawyer Abraham Amaliba. Good to see you once again.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right. So we'll go through some of the statistics. It just doesn't look good. All right. Then we'll tell you what the president has been saying he intends to do or should ideally be done. You know, we have what is real and ideal. And then also some sittings from the Public Accounts Committee and some of the questions that are posed and Charles civil servants. Just chop the money left, right, center, as we say in local parlance. So, the recoverable administrative irregularities, 2018, 3 billion. 2019, 5.4 billion.
Climbing.
12.8 billion 2020. 17.4 billion. Unaccounted though. 15 billion 2022. 8.7 billion 2023. 2024 the election year. 18.4 billion 2024. La ilaha illallah. There's no other God except Allah. So the question is,
but
how
from 8
can
billion,
we...
how did it jump to 18? From 8, because it came down to 8.
Okay. It's an election year. You know that.
That's huge.
All right. So These are key questions we need to think about as a country. I mean, really, we're in dire straits. You know, we are in dire straits. And so let's take you through the Public Accounts Committee hearing, give you some insight, and then the President also will put the icing on the cake.
No, we didn't give it to him now. Auditors, can you confirm when exactly you received this evidence?
No, Honorable, it was just passed on to me.
You have lied on 2 different issues.
Please, I have not lied. I did not lie.
We have Chief Executive here.
I did not lie, please.
The auditors are very clear. They are saying that you are paying a 13th-month salary and you have paid to the tune of 14.8 million Ghana cedis. What they are asking you to do the right thing. Is that process too difficult for Kolebu Teaching Hospital to do?
Going forward, Honorable Chair, we'll stick that.
You are not doing anybody a favor by saying going forward. That is what the law mandates you to do.
To recover the money. Have you done that?
That was the external COVID team who swapped the bodies. So we.
CEO, the answer we want is yes, we have. No, we haven't.
No. Yeah. Actually, we are sorry for exactly what happened, but we haven't still recovered.
Recently, I've been watching the Public Accounts Committee, and it's so pathetic. You know, why must we every year congregate at the Public Accounts Committee, and then you hear all kinds of atrocious, you know, things. I mean, recklessness with public funds and resources. And so I have a meeting on Thursday with the Chief Justice, the Attorney General, and others to find a final solution to this Auditor General's report. That persons who are found guilty of infractions or do not follow due procedure or lead to loss of public resources, we must have a fast-track process to Nsawam, you know. Fast track before you see you in Nsawam, 6 months. You know, until we do that, until there's a deterrent, we're going to come every year and they say total misappropriation and infractions of found out by the Auditor General is about 15 billion cedis. I mean, if we save 15 billion cedis, can you imagine what it could do? You know, and so we're going to have a meeting, we're going to brainstorm. We've not fully implemented the constitutional provision. There's a part of the provision that says after the Public Accounts Committee has sat on the Auditor General's report, Parliament must set up a committee. What we don't know is whether it should be a parliamentary committee or it's a committee not necessarily made of parliamentarians.
So the question is, these monies, was it just not accounted for or that went into individual pockets? I mean, clearly,
Roland.
Governance is problematic in Ghana.
Yes. Leadership has failed us. And it's so sad to see this. If you look at for the past 7 years, 2018, 3 billion lost. And it is not just lost, but in individuals' pocket. Then 2019, 5.4 billion. 2020, 12.8 billion. 2021, 17.4 billion. 2022, and this is hard-earned cash. 2023, 8.7 billion. 2024, 18.4 billion. 1 year alone, money lost in individual pocket. Let me put it in simple terms, stolen. That is what it is. But the procurement, the way they go through about the procurement is such a way that you will never find out. You can go to court for 10 years, you never find out. This gentleman who was being drilled here, he didn't cause the loss. He's a new CEO, and because he inherited that debt, he needed to talk about that. So a total of 80.7 billion Ghana cedis have been lost. Look at this money. That can give us a quadruple highway. That means 4 lanes here from here to Kumasi to Tamale. That money are in individual pockets. And so you can tell about how wicked we are to ourselves as people, to our nation. So individuals are getting richer, and then the country is becoming poorer. But I look at the report and I look at the categories of the infractions that is going on there. We have the first one being cash irregularities. Cash with no receipts. and then people take the cash. The second one is indebtedness. So the debt that they leave behind. Some are not even paying GRA taxes. They leave a lot of debts behind. And then loans that people have accrued. They have contracted loans, IOUs, and they've not paid for it. And then we have advances. Oh, give me this money, I'll pay back. It never comes back. These are all part of the irregularities. Then they have payroll irregularities. You know, we keep talking about ghost names. There are no ghosts. Individuals have turned themselves into ghosts. I told you about a lady who went to the Netherlands for 8 years, married. The marriage didn't work. She came back home, only to realize that she came back to the school that she was teaching and said that I want to come back because a man took me to the Netherlands. The relationship didn't work. I'm coming back home to work. And she said that the headmaster told her that, don't worry, you've even been promoted. So while she was away for 8 years, somebody was collecting her salary. And we have many cases of such situations where people are not here, but individuals are collecting their salaries because they have not expunged their name from the systems. So that is their ghost names, unearned salaries. People have not earned those salaries, but they are collecting those salaries. Travel and leave and don't return, and then people are still being paid. Then we have stores and procurement irregularities. This is a huge one. The stores and the procurement is where a lot of the money goes, because there are a lot of irregularities in the way we do the stores and the procurement. So procurement irregularities is too much. Then rent payment irregularities is also one of the issues, the way they contract in paying rent. Then they have contract irregularities, which is the way the bidding is done, the way some individuals are disqualified. So, you know, we have 6 major irregularities that is going on. And unless we seal the hole for all these, we'll continue to have that rise in the way we see this corrupt and canker and stinkiness in our public service.
The way they've been itemized, we seem to be just perhaps re-echoing the same thing all the time. And the barriers and the buffers that have been put to be a hindrance or resolve them don't seem to be working. Ideally, you take the US system, for example. If you're being drilled by a Senate committee,
yes,
I mean, you're being drilled.
Yes.
You find Mark Zuckerberg, it's a billionaire, almost going to the numbers of, by the next year, into the trillions. Mm-hmm. He's been drilled, and it's all for the public good. What is wrong with the way we've been doing it all along? Having a parliamentary committee, they come there very subtly and all that.
I think it's all that the way the laws have not worked. The enforcement of the law has been very weak. And then we also have a culture where people are smarter in stealing than doing the right thing. So we have a situation where people learn how to steal. So let me give an example. There's a bidding. And then you have 3 individuals bidding for the same project. Let's say a cleaning project. Now you will see that one organization meets all the criteria that the bidding committee is looking for. 2 others don't meet all the criteria. But strangely, the one that meets all the criteria, the bidding price is lower than the 2 that doesn't meet the criteria. So any normal person will go for the one that meets all the criteria, and then the bidding price is also cheaper. But when you delve further, you will get to know that the 2 additional ones that did not meet all the criteria were fake organizations. So already they have planned everything. Everything is pre-planned. And then you go in there and you see that, because normally you look at the bidding price and then do they meet all the requirements? This organization is meeting all the requirements. The bidding price is lower. The other 2 or 3 are not meeting them, and then it is higher. Any normal person will go for the one that is meeting all the criteria. But then the devil is always in the details. So we have built a culture where people are very good at stealing or beating the system. That is the way they call it. And we have to be watching carefully. Do you have integrity? So morals is also one of the things lacking here. And then the law works there. Because there, once you are caught, you'll be dealt with severely. And that is what the president is talking about. So I have about 7 ways that we can fix this. The first one is that we have to strengthen our institutions. So if you talk about a PAC, the Public Account Committee, the president is saying that we should form a committee in Parliament to look into this. What about the Auditor General? Do they have even the resources to do that? If an auditor goes to these public areas and the auditor is giving money, don't you think they will be compromised? Mm. Yes, so we'll talk about how to fix them. But I think that it's ugly. This is ugly, and we need to stop it.
Yeah, but and he makes reference to morals, that is having a conscience, etc. We have some of the best prophets in Ghana. I mean, literally, sometimes you think about it and it looks like we're structured this way. What do you think that if we have somebody like Daniel Domelevo in many of these institutions could help in trying to check the system? Because even though you may have a head who is good and stern, I mean, you work with structure, right? And if everybody down the chain or within the chain is thinking differently, that's problematic, is that not it? So really, it's not the politicians.
Roland, you see, the whole thing is we've chosen democracy to be our governance system. And so when things happen, we want to use the process to get it sorted out. And the democracy that is supposed to help us to grow and develop, unfortunately, has become too tolerant of corruption and too weak on accountability. Our democracy should be able to help us so that our resources are equitably distributed to our people. So that we don't have a situation where a section of our population is too poor and a few is too rich. That is what democracy is supposed to give us. But unfortunately, we are having a situation where the system makes a few people rich because that few people are able to manipulate the system to enrich themselves at the expense of the majority of the people. And that is the situation we have been experiencing over the years. And the reason why we are not succeeding is that corruption has become the cheapest commodity in Ghana. Corruption is now the cheapest commodity in Ghana because everybody can afford to be corrupt because of the kind of systems we have. And until we make corruption expensive, until people begin to fear to even think of engaging in corruption, until we begin to punish people. People go to jail 10, 20, 15 years, 30 years because of corruption. Until we do that, I'm telling you, corruption will remain cheap and people will be engaging in it. Elsewhere, they've succeeded because they've intentionally made corruption expensive. So you steal something small, you go to jail. In the case of China, if you steal something small, you can easily lose your life. And so you dare not even think of engaging in corruption. But the system we are operating, people taking advantage of the system, and let the truth be told, that the kind of corruption, the kind of infractions we experienced in the last 8 years under Akufo-Addo Bawumia government is unprecedented. I mean, let's face it, if the figures are there, as if somebody just went to the office and slept on the job, completely slept on the job.
But it can only be the political structure's fault.
But the head, you see, that you see, that's why we elect. We all, is it 7 December? We all go out there, we join a queue to vote for one person to become president of Ghana. So your actions and your inactions, they trickle down. If you sleep on the job up there, those down there will also sleep on the job. That is why we are having this kind of situation at our hand. That as a country, we know we are poor. Yet if you consider the figures you are seeing this morning, there's no way this country should be poor. There's no way this country should be poor. And if you look at all the auditor's reports, Auditor General's report we've had over the years, it's as if we are only interested in letting people know how much we have wasted. No action is taken. And so that is why I would want to applaud the president for this initiative. That for the first time, you've had a president who says, wait, hold on. Attorney General, come here. Chief Justice, come here. Let's put our heads together. Let's see how we can deal with this canker. This cycle that keeps recurring almost every year. And it's as if we are only interested in letting people know. So Public Account Committee will sit down, drill people, and we'll be laughing, and after that, everybody goes to sleep. That is the problem you are having. You see, what has happened, what the report has exposed, or what the report has revealed, has only exposed deep-seated or deep-rooted weaknesses in our public financial management system. That if you go to these institutions, they have internal audit units. All these institutions, go to all those places, they have internal audit units. What are they doing? That they would have to sit aloof for these things to get to this level where we as a nation we have to lose this amount of money to people through corruption. And so, I was saying that if you read the Bible very carefully, and if you're a student of the Bible, you read John 10:10. John 10:10 can be divided into A and B. John 10:10 says the thief only comes to steal, kill, and destroy. That's the A. The B says, I came that you may have life and have it more abundantly. Now, the A, I personally have said that given what happened in the last 8 years, under Akufo-Addo Bawumia, I have ascribed the John 10:10 to them, that they only came to steal, kill, and destroy. And I can give you instances. That shows they came to steal. I mean, the reports are there. What we just observed is there. They came to kill because look at what happened to DDEP. Number of people who lost their life through DDEP, and number of people who were even killed in 2020 elections. They just came to kill to get power. And after that, when they got power, through DDEP, a lot of people, Dr. Ejekum says, he said before his demise, he said about 800 of his people died as a result of DDEP. And they came to destroy also. What did they destroy? They destroyed our economy, they destroyed our water bodies, they destroyed our forests. And so, clearly, that's why I'm excited that the president is taking this initiative. And I want the president to own the B part, which says, I have come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. If the president is able to, as it were, as for the economy, they are doing fantastically well, so far so good. If we can solve the problem of Galamsey, if we can deal with this issue of corruption, if we can make Ora very active, if you can see people behind bars as a result of corruption, I'm telling you, the president will fulfill that part of the scripture that says, I have come that you may have life and have it more abundant. Other than that, we are living in a country where people want to become politicians because it's the easiest way of becoming a millionaire. I mean, we know people who could not afford car ties, who could not rent a single room. They are now millionaires in Ghana. Politicians who, after university, had not done any work. And there's no lifestyle audit. We don't question them. I don't
understand.
No, I'm saying that.
What do you mean by they hadn't done work?
Oh, people had not done any work. They just from university became party national executives. They got some appointment. They are now millionaires. And nobody is questioning how they got that money. To the extent that even when some of us, me, Solo, and Apia Dankwa, question Dr. Bawumia in respect of how he was able to raise money to buy the trainer pickup, these people are insulting us. They think corruption should not be mentioned. Accountability should not be mentioned. And that is the danger that is confronting this country, that people steal with joy. And Mr. President, let me tell you, people want to see more people in jail than inflation coming down. And if you can do that for people, I'm telling you, your name will be engraved in this country as the second best president after Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
But may I ask a question?
Yep.
When you say the system, what system? Describe the system. You say the system is going. What
I'm talking about our governance. So that's the architecture of our governance. Yes.
Just don't say system and leave it.
Okay, I get it.
So that
he said it within context.
Wait.
What were we talking about?
That is you. This is me.
All right.
Huh?
Okay.
Because you ascribed, you also ascribed your commentary to the 8 years of the MPP. So that system that you talk about, we need to know what that system is that allowed them to do what they did.
Yes, I've
So at the Okay. So at the end of the day, you would find that when it comes to all the issues, it's also related to the structure of the civil service and then the structures that the political heads or appointees work with. Yes, lifestyle audits are needed. At the end of the day, there are systems that they tend to inherit. And we all know politicians as friends, we associate with them. They try their best and they can't just change the structure. How do we go about that?
So there's corruption among political appointees and there's corruption also among public servants. Most of the time, we concentrate so much on the political appointees and leave the public servants. So when you listen to the PAC, you will notice that this is focusing on public servants who have misconducted themselves in that way. Fighting corruption among political appointees is good. Same way we should fight corruption among public servants.
Yeah.
Corruption among public servants is as debilitating as corruption among political appointees. It will interest you to know that ministers don't sign checks. And so if a minister wants to engage in acts of corruption,
You need the help.
it should be a 10% kickback of a project that he has agreed to undertake in his ministry.
That's what happens, eh?
I'm telling you. Now, for those who chop government money, those who actually use their hands to take government money are the the public servants. Because the chief director signs the check with the finance director. When you go to the district assembly, it is the coordinating director, the director of finance, the budget officer who sit down to do all the budget. If you come to the agencies, it is the chief executive, or if you want the director general, in my case, and the finance director. Now, what mostly you see, and these are the centers of corruption. What I've mentioned is called centers of corruption.
The various cohorts.
Centers of corruption in the various government agencies.
Yeah.
Now, you will notice that because focus is on the government, the minister and the political appointees, will lose sight of the fact that these persons too are corrupt. The minister is there to give policy direction and strategic leadership. That's what the minister is supposed to do. And so he oversees. It is true that the fish rots from the head. So if you have a leader who himself is corrupt, as we saw in some time past in this country, then it gives room for followers to engage in those acts of corruption. Because the minister or the big man will not call you and reprimand you. So it gives rise to what you are seeing by the public servants.
It creates a culture.
It creates a culture, a subculture. I am aware that in some instances, budgets are inflated so that the rest of it can come back to their pockets. So, for instance, there's a weeding contract, a weeding contract by the roadside.
Yeah. By the Federal Roads Department.
Federal Roads Department. Then the contract sum is 10,000. They will add another 10,000, and that will be distributed among those who appended their signature for the withdrawal of the money, the check. You get my point? In Kenya, when there's a public accounts committee like this, there's a policeman at the back. In Kenya. Then you are taken into custody, and then they'll start your investigation and send you to court. In Ghana, and that's what the president said, once you appear before the public committee and you are grilled, you go back home and sleep. The Constitution, which is Article 184(4), and the president paraphrased it. This is what it says. Parliament shall debate the report of the Auditor General and appoint, where necessary. They didn't say where necessary. Can you see the language? Where necessary. So whoever is going to look at this can say it's not necessary and will not implement it. In the public interest, a committee to deal with any matters arising from the report. So Parliament will send it to a committee, and that's what the president was talking about. I was in that meeting when the president met us, talking about whether he doesn't know whether it's a Parliament's committee, because it's a committee, or it is a committee outside Parliament. So I'm sure this is
or a hybrid.
a hybrid.
Because he was trying to allude to
as a hybrid, yes, because it doesn't spell out. And that's why he said he was going to meet the Attorney General and Auditor General to trash out this. But look at how the Constitution is dealing with a very serious matter. Why do you even send it to another committee? Why won't you refer the matter to security agents to deal and arrest those people and take them through the procedures in court? So, Parliament committee, Parliament itself is a committee because Parliament is a representative of all of us. Parliament is a committee of we. Yeah. And then Parliament again will give it another committee. What kind of long procedures are this? Aren't you pampering the corrupt person? Yeah. You are pampering him. Look, he's mentioning in China, in some countries. You are better off. You are better off. And I'm adding, you are better off committing suicide than being told that you are corrupt.
Singapore and China. Yeah. I think sometimes even Malaysia, Indonesia.
You are better off hanging yourself.
Yeah. Some are actually jailed for life or killed.
Oh yeah, so that is deterrent enough to scare you.
But China Agriculture Minister has been sentenced to death by hanging.
So you better kill yourself. That's what they be saying.
Yes.
So you're saying some of these people should be hung?
Hey. You say I call you hey. I didn't say that. Okay. I'm telling you how in some countries they take financial malfeasance serious. You get my point? What is that I say that you hang?
I apologize. Sir.
So, but you see, our constitution itself, the groom law, the highest law of the land, seems to be even joking with the matter. You see, it's even joking with the matter. And I think that it's about time. And I agree with the president that, and when he was talking to the CEOs, I was there, I agree with the president that, look, we need to take this matter seriously. Because there's a correlation, and people don't know, between corruption and the fact that as a citizen, you are unable to meet your needs. People don't know that. When you get up and you cannot eat 3 square meals a day, it's because what you should have used to eat is in somebody's pocket. Yes. People don't understand that thing. People don't understand that thing. If you are rushed to a hospital, you are driving along a highway and you get an accident and they drive you to a hospital, the first person to attend you is a nurse. That nurse may be a protocol nurse who didn't qualify to be in the nursing school, but because of protocol, he was sent there. He doesn't know anything. He's going to inject you with a wrong dose and you die. That's what corruption. Corruption has. I'm telling you how you can drastically, you can literally expand corruption and its debilitating effect. But people don't connect it that way. And so the society will even say that.
Say that again.
I don't know. So societal pressures.
They make mockery
of people who
are steadfast.
Who are steadfast and live
upright
in offices.
Those are when you're smart.
So societal pressure leads to all these things. There are more I can talk about, but today is not Saturday.
Key points.
It's not taught.
Like John Tuwa Downvalley does on these days, which is supposed to be for Saturday. But these are matters that are so grievous.
Yeah.
And we need to deal with them, else our society will one day be no more.
But are you trying to tell me that those who watch us on Friday do not deserve to listen to the details and have to wait till Saturday? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that we are constrained by time.
We are not constrained by time. Say it as it is.
But it's also because our society is not meritorious. So we've created a subculture of, if you are CPP, you are not part of accessing the national cake. That is, if you create value and deservedly so, you need to be rewarded. If you are MPP and it's NDC, you don't take part in getting access to the national cake, deservedly so, if you create value or work to contribute. And so you have to be rewarded. If you are NDC and it's MPP's time in governance, then you are not part of the national cake and you created value, you contributed, you needed to be rewarded. I'm talking about maybe being paid good salaries, etc. And so people want to hoard at the detriment of the nation's development, unlike what happens or pertains in other countries.
Is that the meaning to you of national cake?
National cake is the resources of states.
What is national cake?
The resources of states.
What is it supposed to be used for? Is it
for,
supposed to be used for reward?
For developing.
Exactly. For develop, not for reward.
Maybe I'm not using the right terms. I'm not talking about giving handouts.
You are put in a position of authority, like he has been put in the position of authority, to serve the nation, not to serve your individual interest. And that is where the challenge is. Let's stop pussyfooting around. Huh? Tell me, in this Fourth Republic, Public Accounts Committee, how many people have gone to jail?
Zero.
In this Fourth Republic, what parties have ruled this country?
MPP and DC.
So where does the responsibility lie?
But we've had others go to jail for financial
Where
loss.
does the responsibility lie? The president says, over the years, Public Accounts Committee, they talk about A, B, C, D, E. Isn't it the same parties who have ruled this country? So if we are pointing a finger, where do we point the finger first? To those who have ruled us. So let me ask, the public accounts, do they have prosecutorial powers? Can they prosecute? Huh? 2, what is the responsibility of Parliament to the Public Account Committee? Lame duck. Lame duck. Nothing can happen. Nothing can happen. Nothing will happen. Because look at the figures you are mentioning there.
That is scary. If you say nothing can happen, nothing will happen.
Has anybody gone to jail?
Are we that weak?
I said, has anybody gone to jail?
So what are we waiting for?
Has anybody gone to jail?
So where do we break that cycle?
Who heads the parastatals? Who heads the parastatals?
Appointees.
Where do the appointees come from?
The political parties.
Appointed
by the president in consultation mostly with the Council of State.
You see where I'm going to? You see where I'm going to? The arrowhead comes down to politicians. So you ask yourself the question, when the president has the power to nominate people to different parastatals, is it politicians they should put there? And people would say, politicians are being put on these parastatals for reward. No, be so? You are an NDC. You've been proved. Okay, don't let me use you. Amaliba, he's NDC. He's been proven, it showed that during elections, he's worked very hard to get the party back. His expertise might not even be in the institution they are taking him to. And so because those expertise aren't there, when he gets there, the sitting tenants who are there, who make sure that these malpractices go on, would try and advise him. Oh, boss, welcome, you're new. A, B, C, D, E are some of the things that we do here. Because he has no idea of how the place runs. What does he do? He falls into it. Because really and truly, if anybody is supposed to monitor, the first point of call should be those who have the responsibility to run that institution and to monitor. And if the Public Accounts Committee is saying the things they are saying, and it even so happens that it's the civil servants there the man on top's head should roll. Will it? No, because it's a politician. It's a politician. Look, I believe that for our public institutions, if people want to head these public institutions, they should apply. They should be vetted. They should apply, be vetted, and the right person be there. And it's not a question of MPP, CPP, NDC come into power, then they move everybody and bring new people in. So far as you have the wherewithal and capacity to handle the institution, you are there, irrespective of whatever political party comes into power. Because you see, we tend to cause financial loss to the state by these changes that we do. And maybe, and I don't know, you probably be able to tell me, the Constitutional Review Committee, maybe they have looked at the powers of the president in terms of nominations.
Yeah,
and have done something about it.
About how powerful the executive president is.
Yes, they have to do something about it, because anybody put in a position of responsibility where the public is concerned should be that kind of person where we know that person is fit for that job. Because the Public Accounts Committee always come and sing this song every year. And look at the figures mounting. Look, those figures that are there, doesn't it show that we don't need IMF? Mm-hmm. Doesn't it show that there's money in this country? Doesn't it show that citizens of this country are being shortchanged? And you go to some country, India. When you go to India, the minister driving his car.
But India to corruption day there.
Corruption day there. Corruption day there. But when you go to places like Delhi, you don't see ministers sitting in flashy cars. You see, the draw of the pomposity of power makes people struggle to get there. They might not have the wherewithal to do the job. But because they are the friend of the president, or they are somebody in the party who is strong, they put the person there. And the person's main intention is to make money. Look, I keep saying, and I'll continuously say, if we don't kill this personal interest scepter that we have in terms of our public sector and the things we do in this country, let's forget it. Because they'll tell you, say, I buy ejuma, I buy sika. Is that why you go and pay me my own? Is that why you go and pay me my own? So if you're an individual and you try to do the right thing, you stick out like a sore thumb. The president is saying there should be a beeline to Nsawam. Yes, there should be a beeline to Nsawam. But remember, in criminal prosecution, what is used is a reasonableness test. And make sure, and you also have to make sure that it is on the prosecution to be able to prove criminality.
Please wrap up for me.
No, it's a proof beyond reasonable doubt.
Yes, beyond a reasonable test.
Yeah, so it says reasonable test.
Reasonable test. And it is up to the prosecution to prove. When the others were talking, you didn't tell them to wrap up. So let me finish.
Okay, okay.
You are noted for.
I'm noted for what? When you're talking, did I say anything? Please stop that. See, let me do my thing.
Okay, so
no, don't go. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. Me trust him so. He's my junior. He's my junior. He's talking to me like that.
Somebody ought to happen to
we have to be able to give.
I tried in a notebook.
I said we have to be able to give the Public Accounts Committee the power of prosecution.
Okay.
Because let's take it this Fourth Republic. Let's collate all the public accounts infractions that they've mentioned, and let's see, out of that, how many people have been prosecuted. Look, the moment a party leaves power, and no, nobody says anything. Quite recently, were we not shouting on top of the roofs about Kinuforiata? Were we not?
I saw him with the school bag.
I said, were we? I said, were we not? I said, were we? Were we not? He's done this. He's done that. He's done that. Does anybody hear Kenufurate's? Can we hear Kenufurate's name anymore? Can we hear Kenufurate's anymore?
You mean die down?
The point I'm trying to say is that when politicians come into power and they do the wrong things, they should be pursued, even if they have, according to the Constitution, rights of what do you call it? What do they call that thing? Where your time isn't up. Where you President Akufo-Addo's what do you call it? Immunity. No. Immunity. And the
immunity from prosecution.
Yes,
in the Constitution it says that.
And the Public Accounts Committee can see that the finger is pointing at you. That immunity should be taken off and be prosecuted. Because unfortunately, it's the ordinary man who suffers. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
But you see, all these things doesn't come as a surprise because for me, what we are seeing in the public sector is a byproduct of the society that we have.
All right.
So that's how the people are. That's
So I love to sit with the lawyer, but I'm going to prescribe solutions to some of the problems. I have 7 of them. The first one is what we do in public awareness. And we need to educate people on accountability and transparency, which is very important. That, it is not smart to be stealing. People think that if you are smart, that means you know how to steal. That culture that a minister or governor appointee will go and meet, if you go and meet a corrupt culture, it is easy for them to corrupt you. If you are incorruptible, they will find a way to kick you out. They will say you are not a good person because you're fighting against a moving tide. So we should watch that. The second one I'll talk about is how we promote the Whistleblower Act. That we should do a lot of things that when people come and talk about this person is doing this and we investigate, we should reward whistleblowers, which is very important. And the president have done this by giving a portal that you can report some of these things, because in Ghana, if you go and report somebody and you're not careful, your life is at stake. So Whistleblowing Act is something that we should be working on. The third prescription that I have is how to enhance the public financial management. So we both talk about the internal auditors. What are they doing at the various ministries, departments, and agencies? How we budget. So if the budget numbers are inflated, how do we make sure that we bring the numbers down? How we do our accounting system and how we report on our accounting system. Are we using FIFO, first in, first out, or last in, first out, or the average system? So these areas, any accounting technique that you use, there is a potential way of being corrupted, and you need somebody to check on that. Then the other one is how we implement our audit report recommendations. So all these recommendations by the Auditor General, they make recommendations, and in the end, nobody is prosecuted, nobody goes to jail, nothing happens. It's just kumbaya, and we say goodbye and go home. And if you continue to do that and people know that it won't end anywhere, they will continue because it is the easiest way to get into richness. And we'll talk about something serious that we've never looked at. Most of the leaders we have in this country, right from NUCs, because I was also at NUCs, right from NUCs, student leaders, straight to main politics and their ministers, and they are making a lot of money. They have never worked for other
you're
people.
Saying that from SRC,
from student leadership,
so SRC,
straight to main leadership,
or NUCs.
Yes.
Then you go to
straight to political leadership. And they have never worked for anybody. You see, working for somebody, you learn a lot.
Then you go to government.
Yes. You learn a lot working for people. Sometimes your bosses will frustrate you, all those things.
So that's why we have the richest people being the main politicians.
So what the Western country, people have been telling me, but I picked those because of the best practice that we can do. They allow students to work. From 16 years, we are working at McDonald's, we are working at Best Way, Subway. It's because they want you to learn customer service, how people can frustrate you. People are working even at the universities that they go to school, they are working, they are cleaning. You learn customer service so that by the time you finish university, it's not just that thinking somebody has money there, you are going to look for it. So you have experience. But most of individuals in politics now, just straight from student politics to main politics, and they don't have any practical experience dealing with people.
But does that mean you should be corrupt? That shouldn't mean you should be corrupt.
I am ending with another thing, Kwame. What I'm saying is that I started by saying that if the tenants that you talked about are already corrupted, and you decide not to corrupt yourself, they will find a way to kick you out. Let me give a typical example. A minister, I will not mention names, and it's not in this government, but previous government, said that he was appointed a minister, and people started coming to his office and say, oh, congratulations, take this for lunch. Oh, congratulations, take this for lunch. And then in the end, when you open the drawer, you put them in the drawer. $10,000, $5,000, $2,000. So, hey, Ejume here. So just launch this. Guess what? Before he knew, his business card that they took, that take my business card, you can call me. They were using it to do other things until the president called him at that time that people are using your name for this. So the people you are going to meet are already corrupted. And if you try to push against that moving tide, they will find a way to get you out. That means we have built a culture that the upright people here don't survive. It is the corrupt, because if you don't join them, they will find a way to kick you out. So how do we solve that corruption part where we don't join them, but we are there to change, and then they will embrace that kind of change? We need to look at a way of doing that. You talk about pastors and individuals. We are all going to churches and the mosques. Yeah. So where in lies the 18.4 billion that we are stealing?
You see, NSPPD, what God cannot do.
So are we hypocrites that we
and then my pastor is Archbishop Odepo, Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah, Winners Chapel International. Then I listen to a number of them also around. Otabo, I used to follow him.
See, so we have people, and I think that if the churches and the mosques have not come, then things would have been worse.
Mashallah.
Things would have been worse, because even with this, look at what is happening. The other one, I like what the president talked about, is the fast tracking of prosecution. We have to work on a judicial system and make sure that we serve deterrent to those who are corrupting themselves. Hefty jail terms, confiscate their assets. You need, if it's real estate, take all the buildings away. If it is the money that they have taken, make sure that you take all their money away. We still have Sister Dape's case. What has happened to it? We have an office of the special prosecutor saying that influence peddling is not corruption. And I didn't know what to even say. If nobody can have access to you, Roland Walker, because you were president, and I come to tell the person that, give me 10,000 cedis, I will let you see Roland Walker. You give me 10,000, and the next day I'm sitting in front of Roland Walker. Is that not corruption? That is influence peddling. It's corruption, clearly.
Prof, let me ask you a question. What has happened to Wyoming?
So we can mention names, Kwame. We can mention names, but
they follow through seasons.
We are talking about
them where
it is scary to me when you said nothing will happen. If we say nothing will happen, then we are not breaking that cycle. If it becomes cyclical, that if it becomes cyclical, that every day things happen, we meet and talk about it, drill people, they will sweat a little bit, and they go home and nothing happens. Then that's not how we are solving it.
And somebody steals a goat and he's put in jail.
I mean, you took my time on. The last two is that we have to strengthen institutions and oversight. So the park, we have to strengthen the park and make sure that they have they can prosecute individuals. And then the Auditor General's
strong institutions.
Yes, we need to strengthen our institutions and oversight.
And
then the last one is we have to improve transparency and accountability. And that means online platform that we can track how some of this money goes. But then finally, we should question people who acquire wealth and we don't know the source of it.
That's lifestyle audit.
Yes, we have to ask, even in our homes, when your dad buys a car and you know that his salary cannot buy, Dad, where did you get the money? We should begin that culture of questioning our family people who acquire wealth shortly. And ex-President Mills did that, right? He went to the customs and asked them that, you saw it. You all saw the video that how can that people come to customs and within 2-3 years you put up a mansion? Where do you get the money from? We should begin to ask questions. The why will solve the problem.
Prof,
for us.
do you have a son?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a daughter?
Yes.
Have they ever questioned you about how you bought a property?
They will question me.
Have they ever?
They will question me.
No, have
my
they?
case will always question
have
me.
They?
Yes.
Have they?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I've trained them that way.
Please.
Because it won't happen.
No Zato and Solo here today. Please.
It won't happen.
Ebo?
Yeah, I think.
So there are key considerations, and I'm going to premise this. So a friend of mine who lives in the UK bought, I think it was iPhone 16 at the time. He left it at the train station. He bought it the next day. I think they do contract or something like that.
Yes, contract.
He left the phone in the train. And by the time he got to work, he saw that his phone was not around. They called him from the train station that somebody in the train, a co-passenger, had come to leave the fresh iPhone 16. Yeah, I think they have some train masters or something.
Yes.
Some at the train station.
So they called him from the train station that he called the phone and they said the phone is at the train station. Whoever supervises there is there. That a co-passenger. So it talks about culture and it talks about culture.
Yes.
Yeah. There's corruption in the West, but there's no greed among the mass of the population. Okay, I'll give an example. Ken Oforiatta, we saw him with a backpack. A backpack. The young student, they use backpacks.
And the man is supposed to be sick.
And the oh no, and he's supposed to be in Ghana. He will not walk like that, like on the street with and be moderate, modest, etc. Our presidents, when they go abroad, the flashy four-wheel drives and things, they pick them in BMWs. If it's Germany, you went BMWs, Benz, normal saloon sedans or something like that. You go to the US, you're going to use a normal Ford, a normal Escalade, something. China, you know. What's that? And then the Chinese also have that one. Why is that we're not able to, over time, change the culture down there so that it trickles up? Is it because we don't have any strong leader in our generation and the next generation, or we are not ever going to produce that to change this?
No, we've changed. Over the years, we've changed, except that we've changed from bad to worse.
How do we change from this to be good?
Yes, I think if we can consciously look at our education system, because all of us went through education system, we were exposed to certain behavior, our secondary school life. Today, if you hear some of the things that our secondary school people do, it's baffling. So we have to have a real look at our education system, because if you want to straighten up a tree, you don't wait for the tree to grow. Once you plant it and it's going, it's heading to a direction that you don't like, you just have to, do it when it is young. And that is what we're supposed to do. We need to tackle the issue from the very roots. I mean, our education system. Yeah. We should be able to do that. But let me tell you, all the solutions we are proffering, the only one solution that will work is making corruption expensive. People going to jail 30 years for stealing. I mean, you can have an open door. Let one person enter that door and die. Nobody would want to enter that door. So if somebody has stolen and the person has been given 40 years or life imprisonment, you would dare not steal. Because you know that in this country, when you steal, you go to jail. But a situation where when even we are being investigated, parliamentarians will leave parliament and go and sit on the streets just to show support. I mean, this is madness.
That's our standard.
Yes, this is our standard. And so we need to have our punitive system should be deterrent enough so that somebody who even is processing, who is thinking of stealing, would think twice before stealing. But it becomes so easy. It becomes so easy. And this, you see, AB said something. The opportunity cost of corruption. The opportunity cost of corruption is so high. If you go to every village and you see children drinking from the same river with donkeys or goats or sheep, that is opportunity cost of corruption. If you go to areas where pregnant women are lying on the floor, this youth, most of the youth who are supporting these politicians, who are demonstrating in support of these politicians who are unemployed, that is opportunity costs of corruption. So until we begin to do what Ethiopia, let me tell you what Ethiopia has done. In Ethiopia this year, May, they published a law. And you say, every law should be, is it proactive or what? They have passed a law that is retroactive. It goes back 10 years. And 10 years, if you're a public servant or a political appointee, if you've acquired assets, and the cost of asset is more than 10 million of their currency, and you're not able to justify, if they see that there's disproportionate connection between your salary and the assets that you've acquired, they will confiscate it to the state. Go to Singapore. Some of their laws, even in Ethiopia, some of their laws, the burden of proof is on the state. Mm-hmm. If you are living exorbitant life, if you have put up 5 mansions, when your salary cannot put up even 1 mansion, why should the state be the one to prove that it is not yours? You have to prove that, yes, I acquired it lawfully. So the burden of proof should be on the person, not on the state. So I think we are over-practicing democracy. And therefore, people are taking advantage of that to to plunder this country. And that is why we are still here suffering as a nation, going to IMF all the time to borrow $3 billion. That is spread over 4 years or how many years?
5 years.
I mean,
and paid in tranches.
I mean, that is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Mr. Maliba, how do we address this? For example, you, the parties, the NDC MPP, for example.
I wanted to make a point.
No, wait, your time will come. They say raise additional 4 million before you file. You've paid your main 500,000. You add additional 4 million. NDC also raise some of the figures, not in the same.
Are we moving to another topic?
No, not necessarily. But they're financiers, and so we've created that culture. How do we change it? And it has to start with the political elite. What do you think?
You have diverted my train of thought, but
how do we resolve this?
You see, the problem has to do with your notion of what is good and what is bad. Your notion of how do I position myself in such a way as not to be corrupt. Because there are people in this country, they have stolen with their hands, with their feet, and with their stomach. They've stolen. They are filthy rich, but they are still corrupt. That is sickness. That is disease.
So they've stolen with their head too?
Yes. They've stolen with look, they've catched the money everywhere. And they are still corrupt. You would have thought that they would have divested their activities. Because now that they are rich, they will now do something which is lawful. But is it their fault? I say it's not their fault because there's nothing that restrains them from doing that. You talk about the exorbitant fees the MPP is charging. It is not out of a vacuum. That amount they are charging their candidates, it's not out of vacuum.
It's a strategy.
The MPP sitting at their headquarters know who, when he was in power, how he was getting his money.
So they know who can pay.
That's it. They know. Were we not here when somebody wanted to buy all of our hotels? So if such a person is to pay 4 million, what is it? 400? 4 million. 4 million. What is that?
He said he's already paid.
I'm saying that again. They know who, when they were in power, what they grabbed. So they also want to take some for the party.
Are you making a claim that they are using it to raise
that's it. That's what they're saying. I said they want to also collect it.
You collected it in government, so now the party needs it.
There's one person who didn't grab.
I don't understand.
Yes. And that person is crying everywhere. Yes. They've given 24 hours.
Who?
I don't know.
It's Comrade Japan.
No, but he hasn't said you, but he said he can raise it. But he thinks it's not right.
You didn't follow the discussions up to today.
He's challenging it because
you didn't follow the discussion up to today. The man is saying that type of money, he never saw it.
Yes.
Oh, how?
The man is saying that he wasn't in that category. So he alone. And they gave it, did they give this other people 24 hours?
48 hours.
48 hours. They quickly paid. But I don't know whether today is the day they're
so they've given him,
I don't know whether
they've given 48 hours.
Yes.
I don't know whether today he will be able to do it. So,
have you spoken to him?
He need 4,000 people to raise 1,000 Ghana cedis each for him, and then you have the 4 million.
Why is he going to get that 4,000? So, when the MPP...
But he's been in government before.
When was that? When
Change the topic,
So, when the MPP make those outrageous fees charges, they know the contestants and they know what they are capable of raising. So leave the MPP aside. They are in a different world.
But that is unfair.
No, you see, when we are talking about corruption, you don't talk about the devil himself. They are in a different world. We are talking about these matters in Parliament. How do we check that? Look, no amount of religious prayers can stop corruption. You can go to mosque 5 times a day, it won't stop corruption.
NSPPD?
You can do everything.
What God cannot do, cannot...
Now, what you can do...
What God cannot do does not exist.
No, the church, mosque don't stop corruption. What stops corruption is making it...
You know, the lady who has been jailed. Oh.
I'm saying...
Agrada cannot...
No shrine too can stop corruption. Because you mentioned the name, I'm just going there. What can stop corruption is to make corruption a high-risk venture. He mentioned it. A high-risk venture. And there must be a no-nonsense attitude towards it. A no-nonsense attitude towards it.
Yeah.
Indeed, we missed an opportunity during the Rawlings regime. That was when we should have dealt a heavy blow to corruption, but we missed it. How we missed it, I don't know, but we missed it. You need a leader who would ensure, and I hear the president preaching that on Tuesday at home, who would ensure that persons who are caught in that web are not allowed to escape. And if they are not allowed to escape, they go to jail. And when they go to jail, others will see. And at that point, you begin to see that people will be changing their lifestyle. Look, do you know that when Martin Amidu was appointed as a special prosecutor, the refrain in most ministries was that, hey, I don't want Martin Amidu to call me. Oh, I don't want Martin Amidu to call me. That was the refrain in the ministries. Because they know there's a no-nonsense person. Corruption doesn't like pampering, no? Because when you pamper corruption, in fact, it will turn around to consume you. You, the one who is pampering it. It will turn around. Because there's so much money that, apart from God, you can literally pay everybody out. So, you need a selfless leader who will say that, look, I am going on this trajectory and I'm going to ensure that I nail it. Okay. That's how to do it.
And don't tell me wrap up. We've all spoken.
Yeah, you have only 3 minutes.
No, don't go down that route. Don't go down that route. You never tell them.
No, we don't have the time. So you have only 3 minutes.
Them to wrap up. So don't tell me to wrap up. You never told them they had 3 minutes. Look, all the things we are saying. If you can't enforce the law, forget it. Simple. Enforcement of law. Forget it. And you know where enforcement and law starts from? Huh? Roland, you know where it starts from? The streets. The streets. You can't enforce laws on the streets where drivers are breaking traffic rules. Then how can you enforce laws in some of these big crimes that are going on? And I ask the question, at the dawn of independence, Ghana was a rich country, wasn't it?
Yes.
We had a leader, didn't we?
Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Yes. When the
At the
leader,
time we were equated to
when
Malaysia.
when the leader was overthrown, what did we find he had?
Nothing.
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 Absolutely zilch. Nothing.
Even Rawlings has nothing.
Why can't we follow it, and why haven't we been able to follow that kind of a leader? Why? So it's inherent in us. Materialism is inherent in us. The fact that, do it right. I'm not saying materialism is bad, but do it right. And not because they put you in a certain position, use that position to now sit on people's necks. They make it feel as if you have earned the money. We should all talk about it. And sometimes, AB says mosque and Christianity, we don't preach corruption. That is where we should start from. That is where we should start from. The big man who has walked into church and come to take a seat up there, the priest preaching should ask him directly, Mr. Jantwa, where did you get your money from? In the midst of everybody. Because we've got to be intentional if we're going to stop corruption. And if you're not intentional, and we pussyfoot around it and make it look as if, hey, this one, you can't touch him. Oh, this one, he's in my party, so leave him. Then what are we doing? We're doing absolutely nothing. And that is why I say, and Prof says he doesn't think that we are in trouble if I say nothing could be done. President Mahama has said what? He wants a fast track to Nsawam. It should be seen to happen, but remember, and boy, I come to you when you talk about it is the individual who should prove. In law, one is innocent until proven guilty. So although you might see that Kwame Jantwa has actually dipped his hands in the coffers, they are taking him to court. You've got to be able to prove I'm guilty.
But Kwame, that is why I said we are over partisan democracy and the rule of law. Because elsewhere, they also practice democracy, but they have retroactive laws, and even some of the burden are now on the individuals, not on the state.
Listen, elsewhere, the law works.
Yeah.
So let's make it work.
Elsewhere, will we make it work? Will we make it work?
We have no option, Nana.
But will we make it work?
How do we make it work?
We should change the mindset. How can a motorbike, just because it's a small motorbike, decide to drive on the wrong side of the road? Just because it's a small motorbike, go to another country and try and do it. Even bicycle. In some countries, if you drive the wrong side, if you ride the wrong side, you'll be arrested. Why does it happen in our country? And let me give you another example. Our politicians, what car do they drive?
Land Cruisers.
Land Cruisers. When they drive the Land Cruisers, when they drive the Land Cruisers, what is inside? Wahoo, no be so? So people also go and buy the Land Cruisers. And what do? They also put wahoo in.
You mean even the ordinary folks?
Yes.
Even pastors?
Yes. They put sirens in. And the police who are standing on the road. Yes, wahoo, that's what it does. The police who are standing on the road, who are supposed to check, just because that person is sitting in a four-wheel drive, he assumes that that person is a public figure, so he can't stop him. Public figure or no public figure, you should be able to stop anybody who is going against the traffic laws. And if you are not able to do that on the streets, how would we be able to solve the big crimes?
Okay, thank you.
You see, you've gone there again.
Yeah.
It is up to
I give it 3 minutes, use 5 minutes.
It is
Thank
up to all of us. It's not only up to the politicians. It's up to all of us to change the system.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about 4.5, only 8.
Felicia
4.6 million.
Abani, wishing you all the best for the day. I know that you live in the Afram place.
You know that our party is coming up very soon. Do you know that, Papa Ro?
I don't understand.
I'm saying that our party movement, we are transiting.
To NPP?
To register as a political party?
No. Now our political by next week, Ghanaians will hear about us.
All right. Let me congratulate a number of individuals. Thank you, Professor Okukwintri, as well as Ebo Bachman. When I first knew him, he was an MPP member. He's one of the disappointed. If he was there, he couldn't have paid the 4 million.
If he stayed there,
if he was
4.6 million. Problem is running away.
I think it's 4.5, right? He paid
4.6 for filing.
And then, of course, lawyer Kwame Jantwa. It's been a while. I've seen him. So of the CPP, the son of Jantwa.
F.A. Jantwa.
F.A. Jantwa. Yes. Okay, and then of course the Director General, Governor General
one and only
of the National Road Safety Authority,
a.k.a.
Lawyer Abraham Amaleba. Let me say good morning also to all those who will be called to the bar this morning. I have Esther.
Let's congratulate
Esther Pretty Doe. Now Esther.
He will hear you by now. He's busy.
Now Esther Brew also to be called to the bar by God's grace, and then also Joseph Akable, you'll be called to the bar. Congratulations to you.
From your team.
3FM, we have a lead producer there as well. So congratulations, Joseph Akable. 6-2's Don Ulo.
But you didn't read any of the
the messages.
Yes.
And, I have some nice. Sixu Don Ulotu will be called to the bar.
Oh,
and so it's hard work, I am told.
Very hard work.
Before you be called to the Ghana bar.
No, I'm brave.
I'm told that.
Akable.
So, and then also the Council of States member representing the Volta region, Gabriel Komiga, at top play as well. Wishing you all the best for the day. Great guy, great man. And all those who tend to watch us as well were grateful. I have a couple of messages, so let me just quickly go through. Okay, so more importantly, I have this one from Sheikh Abubakar Napari, who says that it is important that we discourage people from being corrupt. And then Mani also sends a message, just that when one to me was being taken to Yoko, see the youth all going through. But